password? Scott, what's the password for the coffee maker thing? Like, the topic today is passwords. And unfortunately, businesses and managed service providers and end-use IT have got password nightmares. We are being destroyed by passwords and trying to manage them. And just as an example here today, we have a firewall. It's got a user ID password, of course, switch, wireless access point, printer, server, workstation, and maybe even a UPS hanging off of that, which has a management card in it, which is gonna have a user ID and password. So it's absolutely crazy, and we have a problem. And today, I don't even know if I have the solution for this, because the problem is this. Let's talk about what happens when you use one password for all the things. This could be a problem. This could be a huge problem, because say you have a router that has the ability to be exploited. Okay, and that exploit allows you to access user ID credentials from the actual device. And true story, there are a number of devices out there that have a problem like this. So what happens if that password is compromised? Well, if you've used the same password throughout your entire enterprise, it means potentially all these devices could get killed off, or infected, or taken over by the bad guys. But what happens when you try to have a separate password for each of these devices? How can you even manage that? Well, what do? We probably put together an Excel spreadsheet with all those passwords on it. And that's a problem. That's another problem, because what happens if this Excel spreadsheet gets left at a customer site with all that information printed out? Or worse yet, say it's on a piece of media or a laptop that goes missing and stolen. All the keys to the castle are now here. This is a huge problem, and it's a problem that as we go forward and we start talking about the Internet of Things, everything on the Internet of Things is probably going to have some sort of password. It's quickly going to spiral out of control and end up being an epic meltdown, because we're not going to be able to cope with all the different passwords. How many times in your IT career have you had to go through a password reset process, right? For a hosted service. So this business is not just about what's on this side of the firewall. This business is also about this. And we've got the domain registrar, we've got maybe hosted email, maybe we have QuickBooks, maybe we have Salesforce, right? We've got passwords all over the place that we absolutely have to do business. So, what is the answer? Is it software vaults that you can put your password in? Is it storing all of this information in the browser? Is it putting it into some sort of dashboard that's password protected and maybe has an elevated security like two-factor authentication in order to get at all the passwords? The problem is it affects operational efficiency as well. So today's Trumpy Friday is really not about how to solve this problem. It's to make you aware of the problem, and for you to understand that this is something that we're all faced with, no matter which side of the fence we're on. If we're an MSP providing services or we're an end user IT company. You can subscribe to our channel by using this button.